All right, Peter, the first question I'm going to ask you is how you say your last name.
Strzelecki.
Strzelecki.
Yeah.
I was trying to pronounce it earlier and my tongue got a little
That's
tied.
all right. Everyone just calls me Strez.
You see Stress. That's
Yeah.
a little bit easier. So you got traded at the deadline. You're now with a new team. What was it like coming over from the Brewers to the Diamondbacks? And like, what was that transition like for you?
So if I'm going to be honest, it was definitely tough. I really didn't expect it. Things were going well, with Milwaukee, and I didn't really see my name in any rumors or anything. Not that I really checked for that, but it kind of like caught me off guard, leaving all my friends and everybody there. It wasn't, when I got here, it wasn't great, but, once I got comfortable and, got to know names and people here, it's been better. Definitely excited this spring, coming in here now, knowing some people and just a different experience, but it's definitely crazy, honestly. It's wild. It's different. I've only been with Milwaukee, so just trying to learn and, get comfortable.
I mean, I had the same experience whenever I got traded from the Marlins to the Mets. It was like I played against these guys, but like it's weird to try to like implement your style within the group. But one thing I've noticed that like in most baseball like locker rooms, there's always the same type of people in each locker room. You just got to figure out which one is which. How do you alter your actual weightlifting from off season to spring training? Do you change it much, or like what's the process with that?
Definitely every year, you kind of like transition. You start with your off-season program, and when you first get to spring, it's pretty light workload,
Right.
From the pitching standpoint. So I try to stay consistent with that, and then little by little, as the throwing increases, I get the weight stuff goes down a little bit more, less weights, more just movement and mobility kind of stuff. And then I've learned from some guys that over in Milwaukee and just my time, my career, a 2-day regimen in the season. Tuesday, Friday. I try to, no matter how many days I pitch or not pitch, once I get closer to season and then in season, I'll just go Tuesday, Friday with the weights, and then in between just conditioning and mobility stuff.
Awesome. Is that full body workouts during those times?
Yeah, just total body stuff.
I would always look for a certain feel within my delivery, a certain rhythm. What does that look like for you? Like what are the things, the staples in your delivery that you're trying to search for so that you know that you're going to be on point whenever you're on the mound?
It's a good question. I've always been a guy, like I've never been with the delivery, like trying to get too much into the delivery.
Nice.
I would say last year, just towards the end, like I pitched in Reno a lot when I got over here, and it definitely will, it can mess with you just because, pitching
the elevation,
it's definitely different. So that was really the only time I've ever like looked at my delivery, but in reality, it was just me just like letting that get to me a little bit and trying to like change things when I really didn't need to. So for me, it's never been a delivery thing. It's just a feel. Just how's my body feeling? If I feel smooth and athletic, I feel good. And if I don't, I feel tight. I try to figure out in the weight room what I can do to loosen up, stuff like that. So that's always been my thing with the delivery.
But what about whenever you're on the mound? There's times where like I haven't quite yet crafted my routine just right, and then when I get on the game mound and I'm thrown in the game, it's like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit awkward. So like, what do you do in those times? Do you try to take off, or what are things that you work into your delivery to try to loosen yourself up?
I don't know. It's so bad because I'm literally like the last guy to ask about that. I really like once it's out there, like I'm just battling, I'm competing. Like I know in spring you're still trying to find your stuff, but the thing is for me too, in spring I've always been a guy like I'm coming in to compete. So I haven't got to that point yet where it was like, all right, let me use spring to like, I do that in the off season because I come in here, even if they told me in my face you have a job, to this point I still have come in and just I've always been, it's game mode since the first pitch I throw here. So I've never had that where it's like, let me use this to, my live yesterday I kind of did that, but even then it doesn't feel right. I just feel like it's game, like it's go time.
So like you have to put this pressure on yourself, right? You have to feel like that pressure in order to get the best out of you. How do you deal with that? Do you just say like, you know what, if I want to make the team or have a good season or whatever, I have to just live with this pressure? Or how do you like normalize that pressure with it so that you can compete?
For sure. So I was undrafted, so it started from the day I stepped foot in pro ball. I always treated like, man, like this could be my last outing. I mean, it is kind of crazy to think of it like that because that is a lot of pressure put on yourself, but I've always had that mentality just because like I knew my position. Like I was a guy that came in, I wasn't drafted, so it was like I'm a guy that's a filler, whatever it was at that time. But then I was like, if I treat every outing like it could be my last, and I go out there and compete to the best of my ability and treat it like that, I think I'll give myself a good shot. And I did. I was able to do that, and it was a lot of like pressure, I guess, on myself, but I really didn't. I looked through that and just went out there every day, and I was fortunate to get where I'm at now, and obviously still trying to continue to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, just seeing you in the weight room with Cressy, seeing how focused you are, working out, your bullpens, your throwing routine, your mindset, I think that's going to help you be successful and also handle failures, handle successes, because you're always going to keep that hunger, man. So, that's all I have for you today, man. Good luck. It's good catching up with
For
you,
sure.
and go have a great season, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.